The walls are closing in on Sean "Diddy" Combs as a bombshell revelation sends shockwaves through the courtroom and the internet. In a jaw-dropping twist, a high-profile attorney claims to have obtained hard evidence linking Diddy directly to the mysterious death of pop singer Aaron Carter. The alleged proof? Footage and documentation from one of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties. Elite gatherings long rumored to involve drugs, abuse, and blackmail. As courtroom whispers turn to roars, Diddy's once unshakable composure is visibly cracking. With investigators reopening key leads and Carter's cryptic last words now seen in a chilling new light, the music mogul is spiraling into panic. Is this the smoking gun that brings his empire crumbling down? A shocking allegation: Diddy's possible involvement. With the resurfacing of old videos and testimonies, a new and alarming theory has gained traction in the wake of Aaron Carter's death. The pop star had reportedly confided in close friends and family about his fears, warning that if anything were to happen to him, he was not suicidal. One of his most chilling statements was that his life was in danger due to his associations with powerful figures in the entertainment industry. Many have pointed fingers at Sean "Diddy" Combs, a prominent music mogul whose name has become embroiled in numerous conspiracy theories in recent years. A recently leaked video has intensified these speculations. In it, an anonymous figure claims that Diddy, once a mentor and friend to Aaron, was involved in more than just a professional relationship with the young artist. The video hints at a secretive world of manipulation, exploitation, and the disturbing possibility that Diddy might have been linked to Aaron Carter's untimely passing. The story paints a grim picture of the pressures young artists face in Hollywood, where fame, fortune, and danger often intertwine. The dark world of Hollywood's elite. The entertainment industry is known for its cutthroat nature, where the line between success and destruction can be razor-thin. For many young stars, the allure of fame and fortune can be irresistible. But beneath the glitz and glamour lies a darker reality. Behind the velvet ropes of red carpet events and private parties, a hidden underworld exists, one where power dynamics, exploitation, and manipulation run rampant. Aaron Carter's tragic story is but one example of the many stars who have fallen victim to this world. Throughout his career, Aaron had been a part of a system that chewed up and spit out young talent, offering fleeting moments of fame while demanding ultimate loyalty and submission in return. The pressure of maintaining a carefully curated image while battling personal demons can be overwhelming, and for many, it eventually takes its toll. One of the most sinister aspects of the entertainment industry is the idea of freak-off parties, exclusive gatherings where the rich and powerful indulge in excess. These events often involve mind-altering substances, risky behavior, and blurred lines of consent. Rumors have swirled for years about the role such parties play in the careers and, in some cases, the tragic fates of artists like Aaron Carter. Diddy's alleged role in the pop star's life and death. The name Sean "Diddy" Combs has been linked to countless scandals, but the latest allegations involving his connection to Aaron Carter have raised the stakes to a new level. Diddy, a man known for his larger-than-life persona, was once viewed as untouchable in the entertainment industry. However, recent developments have cast a long shadow over his legacy. According to leaked testimonies and reports from former associates, Diddy was not just a mentor to Aaron, but also someone who played a significant role in shaping his career, for better or worse. As Aaron's career soared to great heights, Diddy allegedly offered guidance and opportunities, but also introduced him to a darker side of the industry that involved dangerous liaisons and manipulation. The most damning of these revelations comes from an individual who claims to have been present during a meeting between Aaron and Diddy. According to this source, Diddy told Aaron that in order to survive in the business, he would have to make difficult choices. Choices that would compromise his values and his well-being. This insider describes Aaron as being reluctant, but eventually succumbing to the pressures of fame and the manipulative forces surrounding him. The prison breakdown, a glimpse into Diddy's struggles. Amid the mounting allegations, Diddy's own troubles have escalated in recent months. The once mighty mogul, who built an empire on the back of his music career and business ventures, now finds himself incarcerated at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, facing a slew of federal charges. His legal battles have painted a picture of a man whose fall from grace was swift and unforgiving. In the midst of his ongoing trial, a shocking report emerged. On Christmas Day, Diddy, alone and isolated behind bars, reportedly had a breakdown. Described as a moment of intense emotional distress, Diddy allegedly pleaded with prison guards to send him to the hospital, fearing that he might not be able to cope with the crushing weight of his situation. However, his cries for help were met with rejection, leaving him to fend for himself in a cold and unforgiving environment. The fact that Diddy, accustomed to a life of luxury and adoration, now found himself in such a vulnerable state struck a chord with many. Those close to him revealed that he attempted to regain control through meditation techniques, trying to find peace in the midst of a crisis that seemed to have no end. Yet, this was not the first time Diddy's mental health had been called into question. Upon his arrival at MDC Brooklyn, Diddy was placed under special supervision due to concerns for his well-being. For a period, he was housed in a protective unit, but eventually he was transferred to general population, a place notorious for its violence and harsh conditions. Reports from those who have seen him recently suggest that the toll of incarceration has left visible marks on his appearance. His once vibrant demeanor now appears diminished, with noticeable signs of stress and aging. The collapse of Diddy's empire. Diddy's legal troubles are not just a personal matter. They have had far-reaching implications for his empire. Known for his entrepreneurial ventures, including the launch of clothing lines, record labels, and even a liquor brand, Diddy built a fortune that many would envy. But with his criminal charges now looming over him, his once glittering career seems to be crumbling. As the case unfolds, more and more of Diddy's past actions are being brought to light. The federal charges he faces, including racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking, paint a disturbing picture of a man who may have been involved in a series of illegal activities spanning years. Legal experts suggest that the evidence against him is substantial, and many wonder if this is just the tip of the iceberg. The fact that Diddy's defense team has fought tirelessly to secure his release on bail, only to see each application rejected, speaks volumes about the severity of his situation. Despite offering substantial sums of money and pledging to adhere to strict conditions of release, Diddy has remained behind bars. The judicial system, it seems, is sending a clear message that no one, not even a mogul of his stature, is above the law. The prison life of a mogul. Diddy's struggles in MDC Brooklyn. Inside the notorious Metropolitan Detention Center, Diddy has faced a far harsher reality than he could have ever imagined. Known for its overcrowding, squalid conditions, and rampant violence, MDC Brooklyn has earned a reputation as one of the most dangerous and undesirable places for an inmate to be housed. In this bleak environment, Diddy has been forced to confront not only the charges against him, but also his own inner demons. The once proud mogul, who had everything, from private jets to luxurious mansions, now finds himself confined to a small, grimy cell, struggling to hold on to his sanity. Sources close to Diddy claim that the intense pressure has taken a toll on his mental and physical health. He has reportedly lost weight, his hair has turned grayer, and he no longer carries the same air of invincibility that once defined him. For someone who was used to commanding respect in boardrooms and recording studios, the reality of his life behind bars has been a humbling experience. The courtroom, once a stage for his many triumphs, has now become a battleground for his freedom. As his trial date approaches, the world watches closely to see whether Diddy can salvage what remains of his empire, or if this will be the final chapter in the downfall of one of the most powerful figures in modern music history. The Raid, the federal search that changed the course of the investigation. The tapes were seized on March 25th, when federal agents executed a raid on Combs's properties in Los Angeles and Miami. The nature of the raid was unclear at first, with much speculation about what investigators were really after. However, as the layers of the case peeled back, it became evident that federal agents were looking for specific pieces of digital evidence. The arrest of Combs and the subsequent indictment revealed the shocking truth. Investigators had been searching for videos, hundreds of hours of footage detailing Combs's alleged criminal behavior. As the prosecution piece by piece built their case, it became increasingly apparent that the evidence they were gathering was far more damaging than anyone could have imagined. The raid uncovered a disturbing array of items, including over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. These items, according to court documents, were linked to the infamous FreakOFFS, an illicit series of sex performances orchestrated by Combs, who allegedly directed, participated in, and filmed these acts. The tapes collected from the raid were said to be the backbone of a criminal case that included serious charges of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation of individuals for prostitution. Leaked tapes, an insidious world. Unveiled for months, sources close to the case speculated about the contents of the tapes. Many insiders, including Tracy, a former associate of Combs, had voiced concerns about the existence of video evidence that could be used as leverage by Combs to control or manipulate those around him. As it turns out, these fears were well-founded. According to Tracy, a significant portion of what was being revealed in the investigation could be linked to footage taken during these notorious parties. These tapes, which could be considered both sexually explicit and illegal, formed a significant part of the federal investigation against Combs. Tracy, who had been one of the first to speak out about the potential of such videos, had claimed that 80 to 90% of the claims against Combs could be corroborated with video footage. In a world that often seeks to bury uncomfortable truths, these revelations were a seismic shock that could potentially alter the course of Combs's life forever. The criminal case, racketeering and exploitation. As more details emerged from the indictment, the full scope of the criminal activities attributed to Combs became clearer. The U.S. Attorney's Office laid out their case, accusing Combs of using his extensive business empire to create and perpetuate a criminal enterprise. This enterprise, according to prosecutors, was built upon exploitation, coercion, and manipulation. The indictment claims that Combs relied heavily on his employees and associates to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his image, and conceal his conduct from the public eye. One of the most harrowing allegations in the indictment is the claim that Combs used his influence over his victims to blackmail them into participating in additional FreakOFF events. The indictment states that Combs often manipulated people around him, creating a toxic environment where the power dynamic was clearly stacked in his favor. It's alleged that those who worked for him, whether in his record label, in his creative empire, or in his personal life, were forced into these activities against their will, all under the threat of damaging video footage being released if they did not comply. Juror preparation, a shocking legal strategy. As the trial date draws closer, Combs's legal team has submitted a controversial set of questions for potential jurors. This move has raised eyebrows in legal circles, as the defense has asked jurors to disclose their views on explicit sexual content, physical violence, and the morality of multiple sexual partners. Some argue that these questions are a strategic attempt to desensitize jurors to the shocking nature of the case and prepare them for the inevitable testimony about the so-called FreakOFFS tapes. The questionnaire, which contains over 70 probing questions, is designed to gauge jurors' comfort levels with explicit material and their potential biases. It's a controversial tactic, as it could be seen as a way to shift the narrative from the severity of the charges to a debate about moral standards. By doing so, Combs's legal team may be hoping to create reasonable doubt in the minds of jurors by making them less shocked by the explicit nature of the evidence. At the same time, the defense team has continued to maintain Combs's innocence, arguing that any footage or recorded material should be considered private moments between consenting adults. This defense, however, has found little support from critics, who argue that these tapes reveal a darker and more manipulative side of Combs's world. For many, the defense's argument only adds to the sense of unease surrounding the case, as it shifts focus away from the potential exploitation and abuse to a discussion of privacy rights. The witnesses, eyewitness testimony, and leaked evidence. As part of the prosecution's case, several witnesses are expected to testify about their experiences and their knowledge of Combs's alleged behavior. One particularly damning witness is someone who claims to have seen the notorious tapes firsthand. This individual, who is not a plaintiff in any lawsuit but who has critical information, reportedly told federal agents about the existence of footage involving Combs and various celebrities. According to this witness, the videos in question depict what can only be described as sexual abuse, exploitation, and manipulation, crimes that were allegedly facilitated by Combs's power and influence. The witness has confirmed that the videos exist and that they involve both celebrities and other individuals being manipulated or coerced into participating in acts under duress. If the tapes are presented in court, they could prove to be the smoking gun the prosecution needs to secure a conviction. The defense's struggle. Crafting a narrative of innocence. In an attempt to undercut the charges, Combs's defense team has been aggressively working to challenge the prosecution's claims. According to the defense, the tapes are nothing more than private moments captured in the context of adult consensual relationships. However, this argument has not swayed public opinion, with many pointing out the sheer scale and frequency of these private moments. Critics argue that the line between consensual and coerced behavior is blurred when it involves someone with the power to control and manipulate those around them. As Combs's trial approaches, legal experts speculate that the jury selection process will be one of the most critical aspects of the case. Given the nature of the charges, the defense team's goal will be to select a jury that is both open-minded and less likely to be swayed by the shocking nature of the evidence. This will be no easy task, as the case has already garnered widespread media attention, making it nearly impossible for potential jurors to remain unaffected by the scandals surrounding the charges. The jury selection minefield: can Diddy get a fair trial? The question of fairness doesn't stop at evidence. With jury selection underway, more than 300 potential jurors per day are being screened in one of the largest and most scrutinized voir dire processes in recent memory. The court is utilizing pre-screening questionnaires designed to weed out candidates with strong biases, an essential step, given how saturated the media has become with stories about Diddy's alleged crimes. Defense and prosecution teams both submit their desired questions, but it's ultimately the judge who decides what will make the final cut. As one legal commentator explained, "You can't just ask a juror directly, Do you think Diddy is guilty? That would taint the process. But you can ask broader questions that expose bias. Questions about trust in celebrities, views on the justice system, and personal experiences with abuse or misconduct. Even with carefully curated questions, it's a balancing act. Around 150 of the initial 600 jurors could be eliminated immediately based on their answers alone. From there, attorneys exercise peremptory challenges, dismissing jurors without needing to state a reason, so long as the decision is race-neutral. Mounting speculation, Diddy and the Aaron Carter conspiracy. Yet the courtroom drama may pale in comparison to the firestorm brewing online. As Diddy fights to defend himself in a court of law, the court of public opinion is teeming with explosive speculation. Most notably, theories linking him to the mysterious 2022 death of pop singer Aaron Carter. Carter, who died at the age of 34 in the bathtub of his Lancaster, California home, had long battled addiction and mental health issues. His death was officially ruled an accidental drowning exacerbated by drugs. But many online sleuths remain unconvinced, particularly after Carter's mother released shocking crime scene photos showing unsettling details: green water in the tub, smeared feces on the floor, and neatly arranged towels that suggested potential staging. Jane Schneck, Carter's mother, has demanded a more thorough investigation, claiming law enforcement dismissed the scene due to Aaron's troubled past. In multiple social media posts, she implied that her son was silenced before he could reveal explosive information. The rumors have only grown louder. The silent whistleblower, Aaron Carter's last words. Perhaps most chilling are the resurfaced videos Carter posted in the days leading up to his death. In one TikTok, recorded just 48 hours before he was found dead, Carter looked visibly distressed. "They're trying to kill me," he warned. "Sony Records owes me $3.5 million, and they don't want to pay. My family is setting me up. I'm being followed. I need to move to an undisclosed location." He claimed to possess damning evidence, secret tapes that expose the dark side of the entertainment industry and its elite. "They silenced my brother, and now they're coming after me," he said. The tone of desperation was unmistakable. Those who knew Aaron well say he was never without his phone. Friends and fans alike found it suspicious that his phone was later discovered in his car in the driveway, far from the bathroom where his body was found. If he had intended to relax in the bath, wouldn't he have taken his phone with him, as he always did? A pattern of tragedy. Coincidence or cover-up? Carter's death is not the only one raising eyebrows. Observers are now revisiting the similarly sudden deaths of Kim Porter, Diddy's longtime partner and mother to 3 of his children, actress Brittany Murphy, and even the bizarre, unexplained medical crisis that befell Jamie Foxx. All shared ties to Diddy or Sony Records in some fashion. And all, according to conspiracy theorists, may have been part of a larger effort to suppress secrets about the music industry's most shadowy corners. This narrative is further complicated by the long-standing rumors about Diddy's freak-off parties, private gatherings alleged to involve drugs, abuse, and coercion. If Aaron Carter truly had tapes exposing these events, the theory goes, he would have posed an existential threat to a billion-dollar empire built on maintaining silence.